Hello, do you want to hear something really awful? Well, this is a warning that if you're wearing headphones, take them off now or turn the volume way down. Here we go. Oh, my ears! Welcome to Shad Life, where I have over 40 years of BMX and mountain biking knowledge, and I like to share it with you awesome people. Today, we're going to talk about this terrible noise that BMX brakes make. So, if you've been watching my channel for a while, anytime I do a BMX video, I have to put a warning on the screen because the brakes are loud, and if you're wearing headphones or something, they'll destroy your ears. And if I'm just riding around and I want to put on my brake, everybody in the area looks like they're like, whoa, what was that, right? It's kind of crazy. But this is a common problem, and it's become more so in more recent years. There was a time when we all had chrome rims and brake pads that worked well on them. That would be probably late 80s through most of the 90s. But then we got into this, hey, everybody's kind of tired of always running chrome. We want to run painted rims. We want to have different colors on our bikes, all this cool stuff, right? And black, like black anodized or black rims have become pretty standardized. These are not painted. And what ends up happening is if you want to run pads and have your brakes work, you have options. You can run, like these stock Odyssey pads work pretty good, but they make that awful noise. And then you can run clear pads, which make even more terrible noise, but it's the only way to get your BMX brake to really like grab and brake, right? And there's a lot of BMX riders nowadays that just don't even run brakes. So I think in the BMX world, nobody really cares to solve this problem because a large majority of the younger generation of BMX riders don't even use brakes, right? But there are plenty that still do. Trail riders, even some of these park riders I see, they still run brakes. I was just watching a Martin Logan video. The guy that won the Olympics. I believe he runs a brake, but he had another guy on his channel, and that guy ran a brake with a gyro and stuff, and his brakes were squealing in the video. So there are BMX riders that do still run a brake, and we want to solve this problem, but can we solve the problem, right? And so over here in one of these mini bins, I have done a video about this before, but I just went through and grabbed I bought a few different brake pad options. So that's what this video is going to be about. Let's see what other potential brake pads might solve this problem. This kind of red pad color, originally Matt Hauser brakes used it. Cool Stop bought out Matt Hauser many years ago and uses that same compound. These used to work really good. And so I'm curious, does this compound still work today? And for some reason, BMX riders don't care enough. Then there's this white compound, same brake pad design, but just a different compound of rubber. I'm curious to know what these do. And if they do work, are they still going to squeal like mad? Let's find out right here in this video. So for starters, let's do these. And we'll just go ahead and install them on there. That is an Odyssey Springfield brake, and I'm just going to try it with that brake just to see how well these work. I do have another brake I want to install on there. I will probably do that in another video. This is just going to be the brake pad test. So I'm not going to go through the install part on the video. I'm just going to throw these on there. Then we're going to go do the squeal test, as I'm calling it. So there they are, and yes, for those that are going to make a comment, they do have proper toe in. Both sides where the front of the pad contacts before the back part as I'm rolling forward. These pads actually have a little little hook mechanism or whatever on there that helps you set that up. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. Will these squeal? And then the second question is will they actually stop me as good as the pads I just had on there? Oh, that was questionable. They didn't squeal, but I thought I was gonna smash into my toolbox. So let me do another run, and maybe they just need to be broken in a little bit because they might have a little bit of a surface on them. So they actually, I don't know, let me give it a little tweak here. Here's the true test. All right, let's try this test to see if they work good. I'm gonna do a bunny hop, kind of rear wheel tap, and then out. A lot of practice this time of year. Let me do that again. That seemed to work okay. What's interesting is if I lift the front wheel and push backwards, I can kind of make it move, which is generally not a good sign because I'm really grabbing tight. So I'm just curious. Let's see here. Oh, I don't know. I bet you once these get a little broken in, they might work okay. One more squeal test. Oh, that time I was able to lock up the back wheel a little bit. So, yeah, let's talk about this for a second. Okay, these are the pads that were on my bike, and they're well worn in. You can see they have a little bit of shape to them, but that's starting to go away, where it looked like Odyssey tried to do a little automatic toe-in by adding this curve to try to reduce squealing. Does not work. These things have squealed since day one. These are clear pads, and I've run these before, and they work really good, but these are even louder than those. They're so loud. It's just like, like crazy. But they definitely work better than these brakes that are on here right now. If you look at these are another one I want to try. It's the same brake compound, but just a more compact, kind of different design pad. And these, they're called City, so I'm assuming these are more for commuter bikes, things like that, not BMX bikes. Versus these specifically say BMX on them. You can see the X there. You can't really read it fully, but they say BMX. They're specifically designed. My guess is they're designed for V-brakes, right? And V-brakes are the long-armed brakes that come together in the center. They're not the ones that crisscross like on this bike, which are called U-brakes. So there's a difference between a U-brake and a V-brake. V-brakes do tend to have a lot more leverage, and thus I think these pads on a set of V-brakes would work really, really well because you have more leverage. And this is where I want to experiment with a different brake itself, because I'm wondering if the other Odyssey brake, I believe it's an Evo brake, will have more leverage than this Springfield brake. I don't know the answers yet, but that'll be my next experiment after this. But I actually think that as these Cool Stop pads in this kind of orange reddish color, once they break in and that initial coating gets off, they might work well, or they might get worse. I don't know yet, but they seem like they have potential. So let's try those white ones. I'm very curious about the white ones. I've never seen white brake pads before. Let's see how those work. So the white ones, also BMX specific. You can see where it says BMX on there. The reddish color ones that are currently on my bike also say BMX on them like that. I want to try these and see what they're like. I don't know what the purpose of having white versus the reddish colored ones. Maybe there's all types of weather, maybe that's it. All right, we got the white ones installed. Let's see what this does. Oh yeah. That questionable. Let's do another one. Well, that locked the back tire. Okay. Kind of a slippery floor. Let's try the bunny hop stall test. Wow, I was off balance. Let's tighten this brake as much as I'm trying to one finger brake it. Huh. Actually, these I'm pulling the brake and pushing back as hard as I can. These white ones might be the ticket. I mean, I'm going backwards, which a lot of times you're rolling backwards, you kind of want your brakes to work. Or if you're going up on a ramp and you do a tail tap, which is kind of what this test is right here. Right? I think more testing needs to be done. I actually need to take these brakes out riding to a bank or to a skate park and try them out there. But I'm actually a little bit optimistic here that I might have solved the ear-torturing brake problem. Okay, so the white ones seem to have worked fairly well. They seem to have worked mildly better than these ones here, right? But if you look at these, kind of trying to get the light to reflect on them, you can see they've got a little bit of a shine on them. So I think I need to do more testing, probably get some sandpaper or something and sand off the layer on these. The compound, when I kind of like stick my nail in there, is a little bit softer on these, and it's a bit harder on these white ones. Yeah, it seems. I guess that's a poor way to test it. So I can't guarantee that that is the case. Let me look at these now. Oh, it definitely feels softer here. The clear feels pretty soft. That feels pretty firm, and this actually feels more firm than I thought it would be. So it's hard to know the difference between what's a softer compound. And then these black ones, definitely softer here. So the softer compound, I believe, is what causes the noise. One other thing to note is looking at these three pads. That has very little contact area. This has more contact area. This has a lot of contact area. And that also might be the reason why they're working, is they just have more brake pad surface on the rim. So lots going on here. And I certainly don't have all the answers yet. So more to come on this, but I think I'm going to say optimistic on this one. Cool. I'm actually glad that I took the time to do this. More for my own personal use, because riding around and having brakes that just scream really loud, and they are actually loud, like you could be, people a block away are going to hear your brakes going on, literally. So yeah, so if I can solve this, I will be super happy to have brakes that work. So there's a lot more going on. There's a leverage issue, so the more leverage, like power, that you can put on the brake will make them more effective, and that's all the way up from the brake lever through the brake cable to the brake itself and all of that. So I'm going to experiment around with that a little bit, because there's also possibilities that, like, I'm having to kind of grab with two fingers to really get a good grip on the brake, when I would hope I could only have to use one finger. Although when I did those little tail tap things, I was only using one finger. So we'll see. Cool. I really appreciate your support for my channel. Please like and subscribe. Peace. One for the BMXers. It's about time.